All right, let's get live updates from the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal. Our correspondent, Celestina Area, is standing by to give us update. Celestina, I understand that today, because we saw the chaos in court some days ago, where with the the Labour Party national chairman, as it is, who Lamidi Apapa and other faction of the party in court. But we understand that today Lamidi Apapa was also in court. Talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, Precious, Lamidi Apapa was in court. Also, Julius Abre was also in court. So when the petition filed by the Labour Party was called, the court asked if parties were in court. Of course, Peter Obi was in court. He made representation for himself and for Labour Party. One would expect that usually it is the chairman of the political party or any of its members, being the ESCOs, that usually make representation for the political party. But he stood up, made representation for himself and the Labour Party. So when it came to time for legal representation, which is the councils in the various petitions, Oba Madu Abuchi tried to make representation for Labour Party. He told the tribunal that he was briefed by the party to represent them. But he couldn't really get his way because chairman of the panel said that Labour Party and the PDP and the LP, I beg your pardon, in this petition, they are one. Their counsel is one, and Mr. Madu Abuchi was not the one that filed the petition. So he ought to have advised his client properly. If maybe Labour Party is having issues, it shouldn't be brought to the tribunal. The tribunal will only decide on issues before it.
Now, also talk to us about the move by the president-elect and the APC, as well as INEC, asking the tribunal to, we understand they're asking the tribunal to strike out the list of witnesses and the documents in the petition filed by the PDP.
Yes, Precious, that was in response in their preliminary objection to the applications filed by the PDP. The PDP also filed one application before the tribunal, which was moved as to seeking live transmission of the day-to-day proceedings. However, INEC filed two applications. Today we got to find out that they are asking the court to strike out 32 paragraphs of the PDP's petition, and also they are asking the court to also strike out PDP's response to the application. While counsel to the APC and the president-elect also filed applications challenging the competence of PDP's petition and the jurisdiction of the petition, of the court to entertain the petition. They are also asking the court to dismiss the petition in its entirety. So these applications were taken today, and the court reserved ruling on this application to judgment. However, the court will reconvene tomorrow for continuation of pre-hearing. We know that the pre-hearing session will elapse on Monday, so the court really has not much time to determine all these issues. So tomorrow, the modalities of how hearing in the petitions will commence proper will be taken tomorrow, which is the list of witnesses that both councils and both parties want to call, and the list of documents. So, and also the time will be allocated to every council for cross-examination and for examination in chief for these witnesses.
Thank you so much for that update, Celestina, correspondent live for us there in Abuja. Now let's get back to the transitioning across the country in different states, this time in Rivers State. The government says Governor Nyesom Wike is fulfilling his promise to deliver dividends of democracy to the people until his last day in office. The Media and Publicity Subcommittee of the May the 29th inauguration stated this while announcing the daily schedule of project inauguration, the flag-offs and other events in the build-up to the handover date. The chairman of the subcommittee and Commissioner for Information, Chris Finebone, described Governor Wike's scorecard as a strong foundation for the incoming administration to build on.
Governor Wike believes that working so hard and ending his administration strong will provide the incoming Siminalayi administration the needed momentum to excel from the beginning and continue strong. The Governor Wike administration will bow out on May 29, 2023. And will be providing the incoming administration the advantage of having a well-articulated handover something the outgoing administration did not benefit from. The administration is succeeded on May 29, 2015.
And elsewhere, following Governor Bello Matawale's claim that he and some other prominent Nigerians have evidence of corrupt practices against the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, notable anti-corruption crusaders in Nigeria say he can no longer continue to stay in office. According to the activist, the EFCC is an important agency in Nigeria established to rid the society of corruption with impunity and not meant to settle scores for political godfathers. The coalition led by the chairman of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Debo Adeniro, at the press conference in Lagos, said it was the standard practice for officials who have been accused of gross misconduct to step aside while investigations are conducted to ascertain the veracity of the allegations.
EFCC offices are now literally serve as courtrooms. There are damning allegations that some of the Commission's officials simply negotiate with suspects, get assets and cash retrieved, and do plea bargaining. These open limitless opportunities for corrupt bargaining and self-enrichment on the part of the operatives under Bawa's watch. This needs to be thoroughly investigated by a technical commission of inquiry to dig into the modus operandi of the EFCC.
He refused to obey certain court orders. You knew that there are allegations against him when he was in Calabar? Port Harcourt. Okay, you know that there are allegations against him from Matawale just recently and a couple of other people. So what do we do? So you will look at the merit and demerit of our own struggle and see if indeed somebody needs to sponsor us.
It's as if nobody is corrupt in the federal agency. All they are looking for is Yahoo Yahoo boys, Yahoo Yahoo plus. So I think we should be more concerned to see this poverty, this corruption that is clear and confronting us than to be engaging in trivial matters. Who is their godfather? If I have a godfather, I won't be here with a t-shirt.
In a swift reaction, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commissions dismissed the Zamfara State Governor's accusations of selective prosecution and sharp practices, describing it as corruption fighting back. The Director of Public Affairs of the Commission, Osita Uwanja, says the Zamfara State Governor is being investigated for alleged corruption, award of phantom contracts, and diversion of 70 billion naira. He explains that the only reason the governor is yet to be arrested is because he enjoys constitutional immunity as a governor.
The real issue with Matawale is that he is being investigated by the EFCC over allegations of monumental corruption, award of phantom contracts, and diversion of over 70 billion naira. That is the issue. The money, which was sourced as loan from an old generation bank, purportedly for the execution of projects across the local governments of the state, was allegedly diverted by the governor through proxies and contractors who received payments for contracts that were never executed. The Commission's investigation so far revealed that more than 100 companies have received payments from the fund with no evidence of service.
A social cultural group known as Yoruba Council Worldwide is calling on the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to allow the selection of the 10th National Assembly leadership to be thrown open. This was contained in a communique read by President of the group, Oladotu Hassan, at a summit held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Olaido Yewole reports.
So for the leadership positions in the incoming 10th National Assembly has continued to heighten further as interested lawmakers continue to lobby to get signatures from members-elect in support of their ambitions. Reports say the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu had thrown his weight behind the former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, but no one is sure of this assertion. In light of this, members and stakeholders of this socio-cultural group known as Yoruba Council Worldwide held a summit where they asked the president-elect to be meticulous in the selection of the 10th Assembly leadership.
Put
If that the interference may jeopardize the established harmony of the West with the North, which may lead to a possible rebellion.
The North contributed largest vote of 60% and saw Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu win and clearly contested election. Therefore, the leadership of the 10th Assembly should be thrown wide open rather than constricted to a particular region. That the President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should not interfere in the selection process of the leadership of the 10th Assembly. He himself was a product of a fair, credible, transparent presidential primaries of the All Progressive Congress APC.
The summit was attended by representatives and leaders in the Southwest who believe that the Northerners played a very significant role in the victory of the president-elect, and for that, he needs to be neutral.
We as a region must not lose conscious of the undeniable fact that the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency was made possible largely by God and our brethren from the northern part of the country, who contributed the largest percentage of votes, even when they had two prominent sons in the race.
Political appointments must be given to individuals by considering our peculiarity and mostly competence, because every ethnic group in Nigeria is blessed with human resources in diverse.
The stakeholders also called for the arrest of anyone planning to disrupt the presidential inauguration. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.